I the only one here who's played FTL 2448?
I've played FTL, although I don't know.
No, not Faster Than Light, the computer game. FTL 2448 is a tabletop game. It's one of the earliest and oldest sci-fi games. It's by the same people who made Bureau 13. Imagine Bureau 13, but in space.
Yeah, surprisingly I've never heard of this game.
Yeah, because they made Bureau 13, they made Fringeworthy, and they made FTL 248. FTL 248 is famous for having like hundreds of playable aliens in it because they were all described in like 1/4 of a page. And in that regard, it's got beautiful writing. And we have a lot of some of the memories we had of playing FTL 248 have made it into our games.
Your cat is unhappy.
Your cat is very active today.
He's also upset today, and I don't know why.
Mine is asleep on my desk and snoring.
He might be mad that the chair is gone. Like he doesn't like change. Like, where's the chair?
Our cat decided to kill a plant, and so we've had to move the plant and then shut the door, and that's really frustrated him. He hates having shut doors.
Yeah, this guy hates them too. But I don't know if he's mad that the chair is gone. Oh, he might also be mad that I made the bet.
Ooh, that's a big no-no. How dare you?
I've discovered that he likes to make biscuits, which I've not seen him do before. So that's a new thing, and it's harder to make biscuits on a made bed.
Is that where he just kneads the bed and makes like
he does the kneading thing where he flexes the claws, which is a relaxation technique for pets. It reminds them, I guess, of nursing or whatever. And I've only seen him recently doing it. So
I've never heard it called making biscuits before, but I guess that makes sense because you're like kneading dough. Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard that making biscuits. So I guess it's a Midwest thing or whatever.
It's also a Southern thing from what I've seen because some people from Virginia had been saying that about their cat.
Oh, well, I'm in Ohio.
No, he calls it cold packing. That's what it is.
Cold packing? I've never heard that before.
Cold packing? That's...
I think it's either cold packing or coal as in like bituminous
packing.
Okay. Yeah, that I can understand. Also, I think he's doing better, so don't eat that.
Excellent.
You're doing better. Don't eat these things you find on the floor. Weirdo cat. You're embarrassing me in the internet. I also fiddled with the camera settings, so hopefully that looks a little bit better. Oh. My spotlight's not on. There we go.
Oh, you've got a little spotlight. That's fun.
Well, I have a desk lamp. But it illuminates the other side. So, I was... I mean, I could go a lot about the design theory. There's a lot that's admirable about some of the old school sci-fi games, especially the ones that aren't built on specific franchises. Because like when you play like a Star Trek or a Star Wars game, you often get stuck in playing Star Trek or Star Wars. And since those are designed by writer people for writers, they have a lot of lore that tells you what you can't decide is going on. And then you have a lot of things happen on those shows because I'm looking for a good word for this. Like, we're gamers. So when we play a story, we're making an emergent story in real time. We do things, and that changes the narrative. And then we can't go back and edit this later. We can't say that scene didn't work or something like that. Maybe we can do some, but we can't do it in the level of television shows. Like television shows, they shoot the whole episode and then later edit it or revise it. Or release special editions where they CGI Jabba the Hutt in there. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So a tabletop setting and the way that narrative works, it can't use the same storytelling techniques that you see in planned or asynchronous writing where you can go ahead and edit and change it later. Like we have to do a thing now and then we have to build on that thing. So I think a lot of the early ones like FTL 2448 and Traveler and Space Opera encouraged players to build weirdo characters because you just roll random dice, so who knows what you got. You rolled some random kind of character and ran off with it and went on some kind of zany adventure. And I respect that a lot, he says, after working on a point-based game where every choice is meticulously balanced.
Well, I think I've made a pretty zany character here.
No, that's what I really like about the game is not just that you can create your own weirdo character, like we got our floating head guy or whatever, but also that I like that we have a crafting system that's at the right level where we can understand how difficult it is to improvise an item or to craft a new item, but it's not so complex that we just don't do it. That's the thing that always bugs me. You'll buy a book that's like Fire, Fusion, and Steel, and it'll be 400 pages long and have all these rules in it for crafting items, and no one ever does it because it's too freaking complex. You know, they look at it once and go, I don't understand what this means. Except for my favorite whipping boy, except for Theta, who will read the rules, come up with an item, and the GM will promptly ban it, which makes Theta unhappy. So I think we're in the right balance here. Also, are you really thinking about becoming a sniper? Because, well, I guess we could use another sniper.
Do we have a sniper already?
Yes.
Well, Arcaloid has the railguns are supposed to be for shooting faraway targets. It's just they got a reputation because they have a lot of force that goes really far, that they're also really good at things in front of you.
And I also have to get the sniper shot. So, I mean, there is that.
Right. So you've
Really
already got sniper
technical.
shot, and there's also a gift called unipolar ranging, which any unipolar device like a railgun or a coil gun can be. Instead of negate the range dice, it's the range dice or bonus attack dice, so you actually get better odds to hit the farther away they are, which can make you extremely deadly.
Yes.
Do you have a less than lethal payload for that thing, or is it all just like slaying damage all day long?
Well, I took a look at what a non-lethal round would do in a railgun, and it's not pretty.
It would still be lethal.
Probably. It's
Yeah, that's
slaying
fine.
damage for one thing.
One thing we're also committed to in all of our games is we never want to have like non-lethal damage be like it is in a lot of RPGs where it's just too easy. Like I just declare this to be non-lethal, and now I can hit somebody for 8,000 points of damage because it won't kill them. Because that trivializes the kind of storytelling you see in like stories and anime, which is I don't want to shoot you, like, or back down. I don't want to get in a violent confrontation with you because I don't want to hurt you. And that phrase isn't true in any game where it's like, oh, I just stun you. Zap. I mean, I'll just shoot you. I was setting
They're
for
not
separate
actually
stun.
hurt.
Yeah,
it's not going to hurt you. We'll just shoot first.
I don't have any baton rounds because I changed it out for an incendiary, but I will make a roll to show you what it looks like in game.
You should just get like actually, I was going to say you should just get a secondary weapon, but I believe you have your freaking claws. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to be getting some strength for the fighting. But yeah,
well, because you want to carry heavy stuff. So you rejected the chain gun then.
Can you mod natural weapons like claws?
I hadn't thought about that. I suppose you could. I want to say like this gets really weird because the Morpheer brain eating power is a natural weapon because they get attacked with a big giant stinger that comes out of their body cavity. And if it kills the target, they eat the brain. Otherwise, it just does damage. So, like when you're asking, can you mod stuff? It's like, well, okay, so can you put like smart targeting on your
your stinger?
on your stinger? Can I put a bayonet on my arm? It's like I would say the short answer is yes, But the long answer is, I think you'd have to like think about exactly how that would work.
I mean, it
I
might
have a
sound
grenade launcher on my claws.
it might sound
Well,
stupid
actually-
on a human, but I mean on a synth it makes perfect sense. So it's
Rafferty, you forgot that you can have a knife implanted in your arm and then get a bayonet, basically. But
I got a bayonet on my knife. Yo,
Well,
dude,
not
I
on the
heard you
knife,
like knives, so I
but
put a knife on your knife.
they only fit on two-handed weapons. But
well, that's
I'm
only
just saying-
that only works if you're playing knife kill stab.
So you'd have to get a sword implanted,
Yes.
and then, or you can get a bayonet on your chainsaw, which actually makes a little bit of sense because you could use the small knife to line it up and then the chainsaw to make the cut. So
And,
that would actually make some sense.
as far as chain gun or other firearm weapons, I do think that it's possible, but I wouldn't want to carry both the railgun and the chain gun on the same mission unless I had enough carry capacity for two 22-kilo weapons.
Well,
And
the
the thing
chain gun.
is, each
Yeah, go
strength
ahead.
gift only gives you 16 extra kilos to carry, so it's diminishing returns.
So if you thought about getting, have you thought about getting a belt-fed ray gun or belt-fed railgun?
Yes, actually.
Okay. So he's got this big cable of tungsten coming out of his side.
Is that the
Good
belt
chunk.
fed to ammunition case where they auto reload at the end of your turn?
Yeah, it'd be like some Warhammer type crap where it's this giant, like, tungsten slugs.
And I was also thinking of getting a cybernetic limb implanted and then implanting the railgun into that.
Because why not?
Would that
Well,
be
that would-
like a new limb, like just like not like
Yes.
replacing a limb, but just an additional just?
Yeah, it would be like a built-in Waldo.
Is a railgun
Yeah.
a one-handed weapon?
No, it's two-handed.
Isn't it?
Well,
So
the-
it would
the-
replace
the-
the entire arm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the railgun's two. Is the coil gun also two-handed?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we actually have the Gauss pistol.
So it would
in
just
the
make
book.
you an illegal person.
Well, that's why we put peace binding in the rules. So you could just go ahead and.
Is there a mod to just like make his arm look like a fake arm?
Conceal.
Well,
Yeah,
anything
conceal
can be made
disguise.
concealable up to and including parts of your body.
Right. So it's just an arm that he never uses, and then he pulls out his arm and boom, a whole hand blows
Right.
off,
Well-
and
Yeah, he'd have to deploy it, which would be a stunt, but it would be like, like suddenly, holy crap!
Yeah,
What he has to do is he has to like
Trigun.
unscrew the hand in order to shoot it. So he's like, 1 second.
well, it's Trigun,
I would-
where his whole arm just turns into a gun all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It could literally be that where his like arm suddenly splits open and a giant gun appears and starts shooting things. It could literally be that.
Is
You
there
see
a
that a lot in
gift?
Just the Show.
Is there any gift that like allows you to bypass that requiring a stunt to equip a disguised weapon?
Yes, say it.
Legendary?
Ledger Domain. Ledger Domain allows you to pickpocket people, and it bypasses that delay,
Oh.
so you can get that. I mean, there's the game was designed with a like, if there's something that bothers you, there's a way to. We
Way
were
to get
big
around
fans of games like, well, sort of the Eclipse Phase fork or the GURPS fork, where so you'd have a skill, and if you wanted to do all this crazy stuff with it, they were just penalties. Like if you want to shoot from the hip, it's -4. And if you want to shoot someone in the eyes, it's -10, etc. And I loved all of that, but then you run into the problem of then the guy who memorized the rule book is the most powerful person in the game. Because I would show up at those games and I would just say, well, I'll just shoot him in the eyes. And the game
Like,
host,
I know how to
would
do
be-
this.
Yeah. And usually the theory being, but it's a penalty. So why, you don't want to like miss him, do you? It's like, whatever. It's like 40-50%. If the game has karma points I can spend, even better. It's just, you just eat the penalty and live your life. You just go on with it. And that leads to a lot of GMs getting scared by these games. They pull out the fiat thing that drives me nuts, where they say, well, Gary Gygax said I can change any rule I want. It's like, well, okay, why, then I don't understand why we're playing this 400-page game that has a list of all the stuff we can do in it when like none of this actually matters. Can you just like give me the 4 pages that do? So, and also I would feel bad because I'd be playing the game and I don't always say this without sounding elitist. I don't enjoy playing a game that has a lot of rules in it if those rules aren't being like used.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point in having those rules then if you're not using them?
Yeah. Well, it's you could just ignore them. Like a lot of people I know
Yeah.
will just sit down and say, "Hey, we're going to play D&D today," and they're just going to ignore 90% of the rule book and they'll have fun. And then I'll show up and I'll be the party pooper because I go, on page 163 it says I can do this, and I was like, "Well, you can't do that. That ruins the entire flow of our game." And as a game designer, I'm always blaming the game for that because it's kind of like, look, I wouldn't have thought to do this if it wasn't on page 163. You guys put the idea in my heads. If gaming groups don't want to do it, and then this gets into debate of, well, maybe some groups want to do it, but other groups, I mean, my group doesn't want to do it, and no one I hang out with or would actually want to be seen with would want to do it, but nah. So, yeah, Myriad Song is designed with a lot of we put obstacles in your way, and then if you want to get rid of the obstacle, we have a gift that usually gets rid of the obstacle. Instead of like just buy your gun skill up really high and just take a -20 to ignore it. It's just like, no, almost anything that is bad in this game, there is a special ability you can buy that will remove it as an issue, which means pay very close attention to what Theta is asking for.
Or what I'm doing in this case, because I kind of got around the whole sniper shot can't be done every turn instance. But I
Well, because
did,
you scream.
yeah.
Because you use the scream to refresh it, right?
Right.
Trudon Scream, a lot of gifts require an action to recharge. Trudon Screaming is if you're screaming every round, you get one free recharge. So
Yeah,
so
oh,
like off in the
right, true.
distance, we hear this like, do you guys hear something that sounds kind of like screaming? And then later a bullet just rips. Ah, crap!
Yeah, I just imagine just like a two clicks away, you're sitting on a tower, like in top of a bell tower, and you're lining up the shot, and then all of a sudden you just start screaming, "Ah!" Just firing.
Well, it's the gun controls. Okay, line up the shot. Now exhale. Ah! Boom.
The only way I can, or it's a silencer. No one can hear the shot. They're just like, oh, there's no one shooting a railgun. That's just someone screaming.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if he's shooting every round, he's not being very coy about it, right? It's not like the sniper, alright, shoot, careful aim. It's bam, 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 bam. So it's more like he has a history of not really hitting the target if he is firing that many times as a sniper. So I imagine it's more like a fuck!
Well, have you guys ever seen Quigley Down Under?
Yeah, love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that great movie because you remember like the shot would go off and someone would fall over dead, and then later they'd hear the report like a half second later because he's that far away.
Well,
especially our favorite scene where two guys go down and then they hear the report over the horizon, and they say he's been waiting all day for two of us to line up.
All right, are we live?
yeah, I said that like 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't paying.
Also,
attention.
there was
I
an
thought you were
alert
live.
in the channel, too.
Oh, I just leave my my Twitch on. So yes, we are live. Well, hello, everyone.
I just want to make sure. So I look good. I look good.
Yes.
Great.
I'm already subscribed to your OnlyFans account, Raph. You don't have to keep trying to sell me.
Oh God, if only I was paying money for that.
Question: is that in your background? Is that a giant? Is that the mouse from or the rat from Ratatouille, the stuffed animal?
Yes, it is. Cosplaying as my avatar.
Awesome. That's my favorite rat. I love it when they're just eating cheese. Never mind. We don't have to go into that. Last time we played, which was 2 weeks ago, right? 2 weeks ago, you all had been given a mission to free a man named Lazaro Bombeo from the prison world of Panopticon. You have managed to reach to get down onto the planet and steal some disguises, and then blow your way into the prison. You got Lazaro, you killed a few guards, and they managed to make it to your escape your escape extraction point and get off world. That's where we left off. You'd met up with Ronnie the Blue, and he had given each of you your payments for a contract well done. And now we find ourselves all on the same vessel that you guys had started on. What are they called again? The Cavalcade. I know several of you spent some, or did you spend any notes on any cool equipment or anything snazzy you want to mention?
I picked up some incendiary rounds, actually just one, and some extra bullets to top off my loadout.
Okay.
Not in the money buying sense, but I did sell back the local knowledge of Panopticon that we got, as well as my combat save.
What'd you pick up?
Yeah, I spent those 10 XP on increased trait career.
Okay. And Rafferty, did you buy anything for
No, I
Azrael?
replaced my bullets. Just expense that. It was a pretty solid mission. I think our only real victim was the floor buffer.
Yeah. Yep. And several doors. But so
Well,
you
they're
have
not
all.
our doors.
That's true. They're not your doors. Well, was it your floor buffer?
Well, I think we have to expense that.
Ah.
I think
So-
that's only fair that since the floor buffer was key to the operation, that it counts as an expense.
All right. So you're on the Cavaclade, and Panopticon sends you a receipt for the damages for the floor buffer.
Well, I don't think the contract offers expenses. It just offered us money up front and then money on delivery.
Yeah.
So they specifically did not put in expenses, which is a shame.
Yeah. So you guys have got on this Cavaclade, and Ronnie the Blue had set up this plan. So fairly quickly after you guys had escaped, the Cavaclade was set to depart from Panopticon. So you guys are all on this Cavaclade when it jumps into the hyperspace, folding away into the everything.
Yeah,
all the stars start.
Well, this is a jump game, so
Streaking.
you literally just go from one spot to another.
It did say that while you're in the jump, I thought I remembered that like the ship actually sees itself traveling, but you jump from point to point, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much
it folds
instantaneous.
space.
You're moving through 4D space, but it's not like Star Wars or whatever where we're hanging around in it, and then or Traveler where we drop out of it. We pretty much just travel instantaneously.
Okay. I did have that's something I wanted to clarify, because when I first read it, I kind of got a little bit of like a warp vibe, like you were in a 4-dimensional space. So while it happened instantaneous, there's some amount of time where the ship is in.
Yeah, not all the writers were consistent about that, but it's pretty much instantaneous. But weird stuff can happen. It's not as bad as Warhammer 40K. It's not as long as Traveler of Star Wars.
While we're clarifying things real quick, how much did we get paid?
That was it was 6 notes each, I believe.
Cool. All right. Just want to make
Not
sure.
a lot of pay, but we didn't spend a lot of money.
What are you talking about? For you, it was the job of a lifetime, apparently.
my only chance.
Well, any job can be the job of a lifetime if it's the one you don't come back from.
I just mean it's the job that you wrote down and then defined as your job of your great opportunity. I don't remember what you said.
Your big job.
Your
big score.
Your big score was 6 notes.
Yep, 6 notes.
I could live off this for a week, almost.
Retire if I die on Sunday.
That really reminds me of watching the show The Trailer Park Boys, because they always are doing that. They're like, wait, we can make $2,000? Holy crap, we can retire after that. You're like, really? But
if only I'd stolen something valuable from the prison while I was there. Alas, it was a prison, and all the valuable stuff was nailed down. And
just in the jail cells, there's just a bunch of gold.
Well, the guys we shot, they were just armed with semi-automatics, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no military-grade hardware, so nothing worth looting.
So the Claviclade jumps through space and appears at some other undisclosed location. You guys don't quite, unless you're paying attention, you don't know where it's jumped to.
You don't want to be near the windows when that happens. That's insane! Because don't ask Beta about that. He would usually play a character who's driven insane by that.
Still on my
Stick-
list.
The difficulty with his character now is if he says he's sticking his head out the window, he's all out the window.
He's pretty much all head.
Yeah, he's all head.
Come on, get the puns out.
We want to get ahead of it.
Hey, I agree with your core statement. The gun is good, the penis is bad.
All right.
I mean, it's all spilling out of my mouth.
All right. So
We're getting to a new. It's the next stop on their on
it's
their
the next
tour.
stop on their rotation, on their nice little tour across the 1,000 worlds. And Ronnie the Blue sends you all if you're relaxing in your crew quarters, or if you're at the bar, or whatever targeting range, or even shopping to pick up your prescribed items, or whatever items you're shopping for. Each one of you receives this same message that Ronnie wants to speak to you. Maybe it is even one of those what are they called? Maybe it is even just maybe a Towser even comes to like drop off the message that, hey, Ronnie the Blue wants to talk to you. Meet him when you can.
I'm always eager for a job. I'll show up.
Yeah, he's the boss. Might as well.
And the head,
As we now know, I'm one of his actual employees.
Excellent employees, one of his good old boys.
Yeah, I think only Arcloid was contracted, right? I don't think the rest of us are contracted.
Yeah, that was sort of my goal, to get contracted. So there we go.
I mean, we were contacted. The same thing. One letter off.
Yeah.
Remind me not to give you my power of attorney.
I mean, I have a servant for that.
Yeah, just give his servant power of attorney. You don't have to give it to him. So Ronnie is you meet him at his typical spot. He really likes that old high tech bar that you met him in the first spot. He says it's because of the drinks there are just properly mixed, but who knows? Hey, so great job on that grab, Lazaro. Woo! We've been trying to get him for a while. Good job.
Do I want to know why you wanted him?
There's it's just upper business. He's got he's got a little bit of information that we're looking for, but hey, it's nothing to concern yourself about. But what I would be concerned about if I were you is that you took a little bit of heat on that Panopticon mission. You know, it does seem, and this is totally fine with me, but there was some damage. There was some people that were blown apart, and that's just it attracts a lot of attention. Well, I don't mind attention, but I'm looking out for you guys, and I think you should lay low. Lay low for just a little bit.
My strategy is to hang out with an alien floating head and 9-foot tall dinosaur to distract people from me.
That is a pretty good distraction. I'll be frank with you. But I think we have a mutual problem. You all need to lay low, and we got that ship that we borrowed to pick them up. Well, we don't want that ship to be tracked around. So, how about this? We're hovering over a nice old planet that specializes in some disposal of things like ships and vehicles and parts. It's a refinery planet. It's got some nice. It's a nice place to sunbathe, I'd like to say, but it's a good place to lay low, and it's a good place to get rid of the ship. So, what do you say? Maybe a win-win situation here?
Almost too good to be true.
How much are you paying us to get rid of the ship?
Well, see, the pay would really be the saving your bacon. It's a place no one will trace you. You'll just take the ship down there. I've got a buddy there. Ooh, he'll help you. He'll help you get rid of it and everything, and there'll be no heat on you. Well, I mean, aside from the heat of all the factories and molten lava and all that jazz, it's rather warm there.
Wouldn't the ship be registered as having parked on the cavalcade and then leaving the cavalcade? Wouldn't it just be like a record?
Well, I'm assuming the ship's either dirty, so you guys didn't scrub your records or whatever, or it's not a. I mean, also these ships are entirely huge. It would even be possible to hide a shuttle on these ships.
Yeah, yes, it is, and that's how we've managed to escape detection so far. But well, I just always want to play on the safe side here.
I'm just working on the assumption that we didn't say we did, so we didn't.
I don't know. I still think a mission where we have to scuttle a ship and then come back. First of all, we have to. The first problem I see with this is we have to come back because I don't want to stay stranded on factory planet of molten lava and poisonous gas. I mean, sure, I did say I was going to retire for 6 days. This is not the place fine.
And die on Sunday.
It's your vacation planet of your dreams. Molten lava, junk scrap, factories.
Smell the lead in the air.
I hope you liked Star Wars Episode 3.
Look, let's not take the high ground here.
If you get lucky, there will be a Jedi fight.
You were the chosen one.
I choose you. Shut the hell up. The first problem I see is if we scuttle the ship, we need to get back. And secondly, I mean, I don't know about you two, but I remain convinced that I was in disguise the entire time, and it was a subtle job. I'm not that distinctive. I'm not that person worried about heat. I still think we should get paid.
What do the other two people think?
Well, I am enigmatic. If you knew what I was thinking, I wouldn't be enigmatic.
I probably would need to lay low because there's not too many people that look like me. As dully colored as I am rather large.
We could do this pro bono, but will you pay our expenses?
What sort of expenses do you expect?
Well, first of all, we would have to get passage back to the cavalcade. So
the cavalcade will be moving on. That's the thing.
We're not going to stay on the molten lava planet. We don't want to stay here.
Well, that would. If you stay on the cavalcade, then there would be the danger of you being tracked onto this cavalcade. There was the record of the shuttle and all.
What if we just set the ship's autopilot to go pilot itself down to the planet, and then it has an accident in the atmosphere?
That sounded.
We don't get on the shuttle at all. We just set its autopilot to go.
Also, there's the minor problem with this is that out of all three of us, none of us are pilots. The only one here who remotely qualifies. Oh, can you pilot? I was about to say the only one who remotely qualifies is your robot, but you can actually pilot?
I'm a conductor.
Does that give you transport skill?
Yeah, I conduct. It's literally in the name.
So you have transport skill?
Yes, I have transport skill.
Okay.
And I literally, at the start of the session, told you I improved my career as well.
Oh, okay. Well, the head here is the only pilot that... Well, I guess the head here is a pilot. I mean, literally, if it's just to scuttle a ship, you just pay the head to do it.
Like I said, just set the autopilot. Let it go. We don't have to go on the shuttle, and we can still leave on the cavalcade.
I can understand why you might want somebody to specifically scuttle it, because you don't want it to get found immediately. And having somebody guide it. But yeah, even then, you could just jettison it into space and not care.
Yeah, we'll just put some explosives in it. It'll get down to the surface, or it'll get in the atmosphere, blow up. Cavalcade's gonna move. It can't stay for one mishap.
Or sabotage it to explode. I'm assuming it's got at least a fission generator. We'll just removing the cooling rods isn't enough. It will get superheated, which would cause an atmosphere inside it to explode. But yeah, we just put some bombs next to the power plant and remove the heating controls, and off you go.
Yeah, the only reason we would need to go with it is if you needed us to get paid for taking it to the chop shop. And then you would be giving us a share of that, of course.
Yes, yes. That is one of the hopes that I'd have. It is always beneficial to get some sort of return on any investment.
What era
Well,
was the ship that we went in? Is it modern era or is it Empire
Well, I
era?
mean, how about this? We're tied to you. We have heat, and we're tied to you. You're paying us to leave the cavalcade and remain on a planet. How about that? That's your investment.
Ooh, I like that. Put us on retainer.
well. So he kind of glances around and he leans in a little bit closer. To be rather frank, there's a fellow on this planet that I owe this shuttle to, and in exchange for this shuttle, I said I'd help him out, and I would like and you all, gestures to you, you all are that sort of help that I can provide to him. He he hasn't told me exactly the details of it. We're a mercenary group, and he said he needed some mercenaries, and I said, well, what's in it for me? And well, he lent me this shuttle for this job. It just so
Well,
happened he had it. So,
you just need to be upfront about it. Do you know how much he's offering?
well, to me, he offered the shuttle. That was his. That was his offer.
Right.
So
The $6 million payday is not that bad.
Yeah. Well, but what are you offering? To us?
The dollar.
yes,
No.
it is a rather tough. It's a rather tough job. It will require you to go down to this. It's a rather hot planet, and the cavalcade will most likely be moving on. So it will have you require you to meet us at Sargosa, is where I'm going to be going next. So it's not where the cavalcade's going, but I'm also taking my.
You probably
I'm
should.
splitting paths. Yes.
Okay, so I'll check the schedule. This cavalcade is stopping here to drop off to do marketing with Lava Hell World. But there
Yes.
might be another cavalcade coming from a different trade route. How long do we think we would be stuck there if we had to depend on cavalcades to get out of here?
If you had to depend on cavalcades, it would probably be 3 days until the next
Oh,
cavalcade comes through.
that's not that long. Why don't you go ahead and advance us, say, 6 notes each on our contract plus expenses in this job? We can just go down there and be on retainer and wait until the next pickup. Does that work for you guys? Giant head and dinosaur with railgun?
Works for me.
I was going to offer you a little something different. I was going to offer you all a total of 70 notes for both this and to help to help
Oh,
to help
okay.
you reach Sargosa as well.
Well, twist my arm. You guys want to do it for 70 notes? That's more money than we got for breaking into a prison.
Up
Could
front.
I maybe haggle him up with my insider gift?
Yeah, make a haggle.
All right, so that would be what? Mind or will and negotiation. Probably will, although that's my worst.
Probably will.
What insider
And
do you have, by the way?
what negotiations are you making? What sort of arguments are you asking for more payment?
Well, he's getting at least a 1-point ship, which is 6 million notes, so he can afford to pay us more.
What's the insider you're tapping, though? Just wondering.
Insider with Ronnie the Blue.
Oh. Oh, right. That was what you got from your starter goal, right?
Yes, and
Right.
it's already starting to pay off.
Well, I mean, don't jinx your roll.
Yeah, that's very fair. So that is 2 or 2 successes, right?
Yes.
Or is negotiation considered an opposed skill?
That I do believe it might be opposed.
I usually would decide how many successes you would need to get something out of somebody, and then put it there. 1 success is something anybody could get just by talking and being good about it. 2 successes would get you something only a skilled negotiator would get.
Is Ronnie the Blue, would he quote unquote be a underworld type if he had a upbringing?
He is an underworld type.
Okay, so I get to re-roll my D12 for the favorite use of underworld types.
Yeah.
They're used to negotiate with criminals. I like it.
All right, that's better.
See, well, you're twisting my arm, but you're a good man to have on the payroll. Well, and a good head, and I would enjoy it if you all made it to Sargosa alive. 70 notes.
That's the same number you just said.
Is that what I said the first time?
Yes.
I thought I said 60 the first time.
Why not 70 notes plus an extra 3 each if we get there in like 12 hours? If we get the
To
job done.
Sargosa in 12 hours?
No, if we get this thing chopped and discarded in less time. That gives him something he wants and incentivizes us with more money if we get it done fast.
I like the way you think.
Yeah, that'd be my suggestion.
3 each.
Well, wait, how about 80 notes so we can divide this easily into 4?
Well, we're getting each, so it's already being divided.
Yeah, don't worry about the decimals, dude. I can handle decimals.
The decibels? I have to worry about the decibels. I'm streaming. Also,
yeah, it's
I don't
also
I don't think he said
game, so the decibels are valuable.
Did you say 70 each?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, no, Arklord just said he said each. No,
I was wrong then.
Yeah, I'm saying
the 3 each. The 3
yeah,
each
I'm just saying bump it up by 10
yeah.
so we can easily divide it when Griff is back with her.
Griffin doesn't get any money. He's not going on this job.
Yeah, I'm pretty much assuming he has to arrive at Sargasso at some point.
Well, he gets a smaller cut because he's not taking the brunt of the business. What was Griffin's job again?
He's the talker.
He's the talker.
Yeah, well.
Also,
I think he has a crew under him as well.
Yeah, he's got a crew. He's got a bunch of lampreys.
70 notes plus an extra 3 notes for each of us because if we don't tell Griffin that you paid us extra because Griffin.
I do appreciate that I now understand why 6 notes is a big payday for you because I'm arguing for 10 plus notes and you're like, no, let's not do that. You're not a very good haggler negotiator.
I'm a much better killer than I am a haggler.
You're suggesting 10 more notes, and he's suggesting 3 notes each. And so if you consider you 3 and then Griffin and Griffin's ally, then that's 5 people.
Oh, we're including allies. Well, what about my assistant here who's also on the job?
Yours is a servant. Yours is you have property.
Yeah, but they also have to make ride to Sargasso. You need to pay for them as well.
That's on you, not on your ally.
Well, no. If you're paying me, you're paying for my everything.
Yeah, dude, your slave doesn't count.
Why are you working against me, stranger?
People would pay Chewbacca, but not C-3PO.
Well, that really depends on where in the galaxy you are.
Yeah, because Chewbacca didn't even get a medal.
And yeah, C-3PO got a shine. And a new golden overlay.
I did think that was weird that Chewbacca didn't get a medal.
Well, he did in the end. He got Han Solo's medal.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad.
Spoilers.
At this point, I don't think spoilers still applies. But at what point do spoilers ever expire?
Well, they don't technically.
Never.
Yeah, don't watch our show, guys. We ruin everything.
Well, they wouldn't hear you say that because they didn't watch their show.
Rosebud with his sled.
Stop watching the show. We ruin everything. All right. Are you willing to go for the 3 notes each?
As long as we don't tell Griffin, I'm like this plan. Because that's more money. That's 3 for me instead of 2.5. Or 2 if we have to split with your freaking toaster there.
How do you figure it's more money? Literally 10 more notes is 1 more note than 9 notes, which is 3 each.
If we don't have to split 10 split 4 ways is less than 3 each.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of the meta of not leaving a character behind because he couldn't join us due to hurricane.
I didn't say he couldn't be with us. I said don't tell him that you're paying us extra.
Yeah, just leave him to not be able to afford fare on the next cavalcade.
You needed 3 more notes, but he just couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I say he's in a shitty situation. We should pay his character.
Also, this is the weird part. I kill for money, and you're asking me if it's unethical to leave someone stranded somewhere.
I'm not asking if it's unethical. I'm just having an argument with this guy, and you keep piping up. No, we don't want more money. Stop talking about more money. I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this for the thrill, I guess, is your point.
No, dude, I just said 3 extra for me is better than 10 split 4 ways. That's more money. But moving on.
3 notes is half a big score, too.
As previously stated, yes.
Yeah. Because 10 split 4 ways is only 2.5.
And let's not forget that in Myriad Song,
ways, it's only 2.
In Myriad Song, a gun that would cost $500 costs 5 notes. So I kind of equate quavers with dollars and notes with hundreds of dollars.
It's the future. All right, listen.
Wait, is there a term for under notes? What was that?
Yeah, they're called quavers.
Yeah, they're hundredths of a note.
Oh.
You don't see them a lot because a lot of stuff in the game isn't worth messing with money that small.
Yeah, I think one of the only things that costs that much is just a basic knife.
Ah.
8.
Maybe I'll start nickeling and diming you guys when you take bus fares or buy a coffee.
Well, I can't wait till we turn this into the stock trading on the Aberlini market, so we can, deal with shares that are in 1/100th of a quaver.
There you go.
Yes, so I can use my kilometer long coins.
I got stories to tell, but I'm not gonna tell them now. All right, let's get packed. I don't think we have anything unusual to get packed. What is this planet we're going to?
I assume he paid us up front, by the way.
He did. Yeah, he paid you up front.
Sucker, we're out of here.
So we split the 73 ways, apparently. That's what I'm hearing.
No, we can split that 4 ways if Griffin's coming.
5 ways if you include his ally.
Well, no. If we're not including my servant, we're not fucking including his ally.
Well,
yeah, but your servant is a servant.
Yeah, but his ally is just another dude that hangs around with him.
And what is he but just another dude that hangs out with you guys?
Okay, if you guys want to go by literal rules, we could do shares, where it's 1 share if you're willing to fight, and half a share if you're not willing to fight.
I like that.
Sure, then my servant gets half a share.
Then his leitmotif gets all the money.
Leitmotifs aren't people.
That's just specious.
No, because people die.
My leitmotif can die.
In other
death of the soul.
Death is a different thing.
Okay, so if we're doing half shares for non-combatants, how much is everybody getting? I'm not really good with math.
If you do half shares, it'd be you 3 would each have a share along
Plus
with Griffin.
Plus his ally, which would be 5 regular shares, because we've already determined that Griffin's ally is a fighter. So it's 5.5 shares. So that'd be 12. I guess 12 notes, 7 quavars apiece.
Right, 12 notes and 72 or 73 quavars.
Well, no, wait. Quavar is what isn't that
the fraction, the hundredth? If it's 1/100th.
Oh, okay.
So then,
yeah,
it'd be 12
72
nodes,
quavars.
72 quavars, and then you'd have like some fraction of quavars, like some remainder of quavars laying around.
You just put the extra money in the beer pile.
I don't drink. I'm not giving you extra
You
money
eat it
so
all?
you can buy yourself.
What do you eat?
Yeah, good question.
Tiny bits of
You
plankton that
Psychic
float in the air.
energy.
You'd drink some 307 ale, wouldn't you?
No. Again, I wouldn't be enigmatic if you knew anything about me.
That's true.
Learn through experience.
The planet you guys are going to and are currently in orbit of is named Putov, Putov, and it is a volcanic planet, half covered in lava flows and factories, and it's also covered with a great deal of just trash and garbage and salvage that they are in the process of either melting down or converting into something else.
Hey guys, I got an
It-
idea. Why don't we throw the nuclear waste into a volcano?
Exactly. This is the planet that you are descending down to. Its primary species is a species of grasshopper shrimp, like kind of grasshoppery shrimp creatures that have evolved from just the creatures that live in underwater volcanoes and around volcanoes. So they've got a very
Yeah, the extremophiles. Have you seen these things?
yeah.
They're freaky, man. But I can imagine they probably don't like to leave the planet because they probably don't like temperatures below like 100 degrees centigrade.
Well, then they just need to put themselves in bowls.
Well,
They just
Bowls
hang
out
out
with
in
legs.
bowls. No.
that is one of the things that showed up in Myriad Aliens, where you've got aliens that wear suits all the time. But yeah, that the reason why us like dinosaurs and humans and beetles and stuff are the spacefaring ones is because we can tolerate more environments than other species. So yeah. No, it makes sense to me.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the main species that runs this planet is a bunch of these kind of grasshopper
Do we have a
carapace.
name for the planet, or is it just Lava World?
Putov.
Utov. Okay. Well, we're going to Utov to meet the Utovanites. Do we want to buy anything weird before we leave the cavalcade? Because
Yes.
I'm guessing they probably have good protective gear. Well, what are you buying, oh, unscrutable guy?
Oh, Mesoforte outfit, if I can.
Why would you not be able to? Is that
Rare?
It's a little rare, but it's up to you. I mean, we are on a cavalcade in popular space. The only problem might be that if we go shopping and there's heat on us, we might actually attract agents if we go to high-profile shops.
It is also possible to go down to the planet and then buy stuff there as well. They probably have more.
But they might not have a
assets.
Mesoforte outfit. I'm guessing mostly what they would have there is industrial goods.
Yes, that's
That's
mainly
why
what
I'm
they have.
not that keen on buying an extreme environment survival suit, because I'm guessing I could probably get one while I'm down there.
Would you like me to try to help you get your Mesoforte outfit for 90% its listed cost?
No.
He's enigmatic.
I do not know. Because you know what's really helpful if you get heat on you? Is traveling around with the other guys that have heat on you. And then talking to people in group.
Hot.
You got a good point there.
I'll probably hang out with the dinosaur because I'm fascinated by the kind of gear that he buy or she buys.
Okay. So yeah, I'll say that you can buy the Mesoforte suit here on the Cavalcade.
Do we have a problem with a lot of other Trudons hitting on Arcloid because of how attractive a prospective mate she is? I mean, she's 9 feet tall.
Does that make her an attractive prospect? I don't
Pretty
know
much.
much about Trudon species.
Larger size is attractive, and Well, and the mating displays are on the males because it's the men who have to impress.
Yeah, she's beautifully gray colored, so perfectly drab. She blends so well into the rocks that she'd be the perfect mate.
Yeah. So, I mean, also she's hard to miss.
Yeah, that's why she has good soak, right?
Her railgun brings all the boys to the yard.
My railgun brings all the boys to the yard. I would say, yeah, most likely there would be some Trudons that any passing Trudons would have to check. Would probably, you probably get a decent number of mating displays if you ever go to anywhere near Trudon owned shops.
Yes, and I'm enough of a veteran to know the difference between a mating display and the frill display before they spit poison on you. Don't confuse that again. That's an embarrassing trip to the ER. Yeah, what's your personality, Arcloid?
Patient.
Patient. So you're not the type who would make these guys scream and fight each other for your favors, are you?
If I had the time.
I like that. I just don't have the time.
All right. So you got the Mezzoforte suit. Is there anything else?
I think I will have my servant stay aboard the cavalcade and trail Lazaro to the Sargasso.
You realize
Okay.
you might not ever see them again.
Oh, yes. I also wanted to give you guys some goals at this point. You have a goal to rendezvous with Ronnie the Blue at Sargossa, if anyone would like to take it. You have another goal, which is you guys expressed some interest in finding out what was going on with Lazaro. And so you have another goal, which is to dig up dirt on Lazaro. If you would like to take either of those goals, you can. I might work on the exact wording of it, but if everyone understands the gist there.
Okay. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm ready.
All right. Ezreal's ready. Jamin, you ready?
Yeah.
And Neferu, you ready?
Indeed.
All right. So you guys load up all on the ship you guys took from out away from Panopticon. And do you need to make a transport roll to land a shuttle, or is that just easy peasy?
I mean, it's up to you. I would probably just land it.
It depends on how hostile the atmosphere is, I guess.
You should only make rolls when the failure of a roll is interesting.
Yeah. So you guys start descending down onto the planet. It's glowing a nice hot red, and even from as you're descending down through the atmosphere, you can see it's crisscrossed in different lava flows and active to semi-active volcanoes
Actually,
and mountains.
I would amend my previous statement. Are we trying to stay off the grid, or are we calling air traffic control when we land?
You are trying to stay off the grid.
I would probably roll because we have to stay off the grid, because we have to make sure we don't, if we were just like doing this casually and calling air traffic control to not hit anybody, I could see us not rolling.
All right. So Ronnie the Blue gives you directions to, or at least he gives you the proper area. He's like, my contact's name is Ognor Scroll.
Of course it is.
He's somewhere in this. He's got a factory that he likes to work from in this area, and he points out a particular continent. And you can probably land anywhere in the lava junk fields around here. Good luck. And so you have a broad area to kind of land in. But let's see. I think it's a transport roll then.
What's the skill? Mind? I mean, what's the stat? Mind?
Is it mind because we're being casual and slow, or is it speed because we gotta be tricky?
What do you feel like? How do you feel like Xiaomin is handling this landing procedure?
Slow.
Yeah, he's gonna do
Taking
it
it
slow
slow
and
as Diddy?
methodical. He's a slow and methodical type.
Yeah. Do
Actually,
mind.
you know what? You know what? What's life if not for the living, right? Let's go with
Oh,
speed.
God.
All right, speed it is.
There's a difference between being enigmatic and being an asshole.
So you guys went, what are you doing? What are you doing? So
Does navigation help?
Does navigation help?
He did give us directions on where to land, right?
Yeah, he did give you directions on one line, so I'd say yeah.
Yeah, I'd assume he'd have to rely on his own navigation since, once again, we're not calling air traffic control.
But I may have navigation as the skill. Also, I am a conductor.
That's true.
If this place has a Mog tower, I could really just tap into that.
And it's got to have one if it's on the cavalcade route.
I mean, but that'll allow me to use Psyche as well.
In other words, he's got a lot of dice to roll for this.
Yeah, with several successes, with 3 successes total, you're easily able to navigate. You zip between several industrial towers and smog and smoke and through these piles of rubble, and you end up finding a suitably large enough spot to set your vessel down in between some of these lava flows and piles of junk, and you've landed on the planet.